You know, we do something on Fridays that I very much look forward to. We talk to a guy who writes for the Marina Times. You can see him on Polk Street occasionally, scribbling out his columns between screenings. He comes to us on a rainbow. He's a great Giants and Warriors fan, as well as a Niners fan. He's Michael Snyder, everyone. Hi, Mike.
Hey,
Michael.
Hi, guys. Happy Mother's Day weekend. # word to your mother. Anyway, doing research on the holiday, I learned that Shaft is one bad mother. At least that's what Isaac Hayes says.
Sugar daddy.
Yeah.
I'm inclined to believe him. But to all you good mothers out there, a little early Happy Mother's Day. How was everybody's Cinco de Mayo?
Oh, my gosh. It was so exciting to hear.
Oh, my God.
I hear people refer to it as Drinko de Mayo. And speaking of which, I learned a hard lesson yesterday. Do not drink mayo. It's pretty bad as a sandwich spread.
I see what you did.
Even worse as a beverage.
Seriously, what the
Okay.
Anyway, so it's a big deal.
Well, the Warriors game 3 tomorrow night.
I mean, this weekend, the Giants have to turn around their fortunes. They're in a
four-game
tailspin.
losing streak.
Well,
yeah.
you know, when you have as many key players out, I can't wait for the return of late-night Lamont Wade. Oh, my God, I'd like to see that guy back in the lineup. And Tommy LaStella, we've had guys on the COVID list. Brandon Belt not playing. So I need my Giants and I need my Warriors to win 3 games, 4 games total this week. However many we can squeeze out, I'd appreciate it.
And we should be able to, I mean, Warriors should just be able to hold, serve, and win, right?
Yeah, I would think so. And
I mean, Giants, as you say, maybe there's some other things going on. It just, I hate these skids that the team goes on.
Yeah, and it's what in baseball, you know, your high average is 1/3 of the time you get a hit, 2/3 of the time you don't. You know, it's a sport designed for failure on some levels. But anyway, speaking of failure and success.
What the hell is going on in the United States of America?
Thank you, Ron. Bring us back to home.
Okay, you know, I do movie reviews here on the Mark Thompson Show. Honestly, this sports stuff is just secondary. I got to say, when I was a kid, I collected comics, especially the superhero stuff from DC and Marvel. You know me, Mark. I'm not a joiner, so I wasn't interested in Marvel Comics Fan Club for their so-called true believers. It was called the Murray Marvel Marching Society. I am not kidding. Wow. And you sent a little money, you got a little ID card, you got access to some special pin-ups and what have you.
And you're saying you didn't do that? Or
I did not. I did not. I was a fan of the comics, but I'm not a joiner.
Yeah, you don't like groupthink like that.
No. There was even a theme song, by the way, for the club that was used in early Marvel animated cartoons. I will spare you my rendition of the Murray Marvel Marching Society theme song.
Oh, my God.
I bring this up because you kind of need to have watched quite a few of the movies and TV series that have been part of Marvel's grand transmedia project, that is commonly known as the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or MCU, to watch and fully appreciate what horror director supreme Sam Raimi, the guy who made Evil Dead and the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man films, what he's done with this latest movie in the decade-plus MCU. That would be, prepare yourselves, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Okay. This is the second film to feature Benedict Cumberbatch in the lead role of Dr. Stephen Strange. And if you don't know who the guy is, snarky surgeon turned equally snarky master of the mystic arts. But Cumberbatch's Strange has also been a significant supporting player in Avengers movies, the Thor film. Most recently, he was crucial to the third of the MCU Spider-Man movies, No Way Home, as a mentor to teenage hero Peter Parker. And in No Way Home, Strange was the force that cracked open the multiverse to allow other dimensional characters onto Marvel's main Earth.
Ooh, it's a wild idea.
All right, so in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, I almost need a fanfare every time I say that. Many other dimensional chickens come home to roost.
I see. Okay.
Strange dreams of another version of himself and a dimension-hopping teenage girl named America Chavez doing battle against the nightmarish creature trying to kill them. And soon, Strange has to prevent various versions of reality from being destroyed as a near-omnipotent force seeks a prize amid the chaos. I mean, to reveal anything else to fans or even casual viewers would be criminal. Happy to say that Elizabeth Olsen as ex-Avenger Wanda Maximoff, otherwise known as the Scarlet Witch, gives a magnificent performance that continues her story from the very inventive and very moving MCU TV show WandaVision. So, like, if you haven't seen WandaVision, why are you with this Doctor Strange film? I ask you. You also get Benedict
I'm
Wong.
ready for a new adventure.
Well, if you want this new adventure, you're saying you have to really spend some time with the old adventure.
I know. You got Benedict Wong, who's fantastic as Strange's colleague, Wong, the current Sorcerer Supreme. He's delightful. Chiwetel Ejiofor, one of the best actors coming out of the UK, is again on board as Strange's bitter rival Mage Mordo. Rachel McAdams is back from the first Doctor Strange film as Stephen's fiance turned to another man because, Doctor Strange is such a pain in the butt. Here she's marrying somebody as literal hell breaks loose in Manhattan and Strange has to come to the rescue. And you got your surprise cameos. Raimi's skill at making horror movies with tongue-in-cheek is in full effect here. But, you got trademark frights and grotesque gore coexisting with Marvel super heroics. And the phrase inside baseball, right? Well, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is inside Marvel. If you haven't seen most of what's come before, especially the things I've mentioned earlier, you shouldn't even be thinking about seeing this. On the other hand, if you're a true believer, and I wasn't a member of the club, but I am a true believer, I'm up to date. Check this out and have a blast. I sure did. But again, it's like a gigantic cereal, Mark.
Yeah, you need the
The
whole...
science is ridiculous.
Exactly. The science fiction is ridiculous, too. That's in theaters. Shepherd is a quietly disturbing mix of mystery and psychological horror that was made by a Welsh director and screenwriter, is set on a remote Scottish island. It seems like it should be something made in Australia. It should be an Australian Shepherd, if you will, but no, it's not. And there is a veteran Australian actress, Greta Scacchi, in a supporting role, and an actual Australian Shepherd as the companion to the film's lead character. This guy would be recent widower Eric Black, played by Tom Hughes, who was Prince Albert in the historical miniseries Victoria. Eric, the character, is tormented by his wife's death and takes on a job as a keeper and tender of sheep on that previously mentioned remote Scottish island, accompanied by his faithful pet, the Australian Shepherd named Baxter. But Mr. Black is seemingly haunted. He may or may not be alone with Baxter on the island, and that's where some of the horror starts developing. Shepherd, written and directed by Russell Owen, is an interesting, generally effective exploration of loss and grief that reminded me a bit of Robert Eggers' dark, dank approach to filmmaking, although this doesn't approach power and creep factor. Those things are Eggers' stock in trade, The Witch, The Lighthouse, The Northman. But Shepherd has chill-inducing moments, especially when Scacchi is on screen as Eric's disconsolate mother. By the way, she was very beautiful and lithe during her younger years as a leading lady in movies like The Coca-Cola Kid. And she's in her early 60s now and has not tried to fight the aging process. Instead, she embraces this character's role with gusto. Greta Scacchi, one of the best things about Shepherd. The movie is currently in select theaters, but will be available for streaming on the usual sites and services this coming Tuesday.
So there's an eerie... I'm unclear. There's an eerie horror thing going on?
Yeah, he's on this island. He's miserable. Right. He's a widower. He doesn't know what happened in the case of his wife, and now he's haunted when he's on this island, basically on his own with this dog.
You just don't get it.
I don't get it. Okay.
This movie's not for you. It's horror. I know you don't like horror.
I don't like horror. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. The Takedown is a buddy cop action comedy from France that teams the ever-charming Afro-French actor Omar Sy, star of the wonderful crime dramedy Lupin, which you may have seen on Netflix.
Yeah, loved it.
And he's paired up with classically trained leading man Laurent Lafitte of the Comédie Française. We're not messing around here. And these guys play the traditional bickering competitive detective team from different divisions in the Paris police force. They're ex-partners with contrasting lifestyles and backgrounds who had a falling out, but they're forced back together by a grisly death that takes them to a town in the French provinces. And that's where the country's right-wing, anti-immigrant, anti-LGBTQ, pro-white populist movement flourishes, in fact, in real life. And so they go into the midst of this, trying to solve this death with a streetwise, albeit genial, black police detective and a smug, effete white detective showing up to investigate what could be a drug-related murder in this kind of environment. The locals believe me, are not rolling out the red carpet. The Takedown was directed by French action ace Louis Leterrier, whose Incredible Hulk, hey, Marvel, the Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton for Marvel was a solid early MCU installment. And then Leterrier also did Transporter 2 with Jason Statham, fun popcorn muncher. And he's going to direct the next Fast and Furious movie. And so he knows what he's doing with an action comedy. He's got Sy and Lafitte facing off as frenemies. This pulls very few punches in depicting the sort of divisive, hate-fueled political machinations and the blind patriotism that's currently plaguing France as well as the U.S. I don't know about you. It was relieving to me to see Emmanuel Macron defeat right-wing demagogue Marine Le Pen for French prime minister recently. There's even a Le Pen joke in this movie.
But it was good to see the fascists lose. Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. There is actually a Le Pen joke in this movie. Anyhow, this is very much in the tradition of Lethal Weapon and Rush Hour. These guys pulled back together that don't want to be working together.
But it's in French.
Yeah, it's in French and with subtitles.
All right.
You cannot say you love your country.
The Takedown. This is an entertaining B movie, both for the two lead actors and the movie's willingness to take a side against fascism and racism. It's in French with subtitles on Netflix for free if you have a Netflix account.
Oh, okay. Called The Takedown. I actually would like. By the way, Chris, Machinations is a dinger. All right, go ahead, Mike. I've got 30 seconds. Not even.
Well, you know what? I do want to say something really brief about two TV programs. One is called Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, and it's on Paramount Plus. And it's the first episode dropped on Thursday. And it actually goes back to basics. Story of the week, situation of the week, planet of the week, monster of the week. It's not a long serialized thing, although there are character arcs. And Anson Mount as Christopher Pike, the captain before James
Christopher
Kirk.
Pike, sure.
Before Kirk on the Enterprise, the guy.
Right.
Yeah.
That way he was in the pilot, actually, is the way it really worked.
So they've actually said, what was it like on the Enterprise with Chris Pike at his height before
Shatner showed up?
Yeah. And so that's it. And you have Cadet Uhura. You have Nurse Chapel. You have all manner of. You have Spock and Number One.
Wow.
By the way, Anson Mount, my second favorite captain after Jean-Luc Picard. He has a catchphrase when he wants them to engage the warp drive. He just goes, "Hit it." I love it. It's like he's a rapper or something.
Well.
Yeah,
I love it.
I am glad. And what's that called?
Strange New Worlds. It's so much fun.
It's on Paramount Plus.
Yeah, Rebecca Romaine is number one, and Ethan Peck, grandson of Gregory Peck, as the young Mr. Spock. Wonderful. And really quickly, Call My Agent's one of my favorite TV shows. It's a French
now they're
thing.
redoing it in English now.
10%. It's available on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Set in London with Jack Davenport as the lead, Jim Broadbent in support, and every week is another real-life British star or performer or celebrity who's being represented by this talent agency. And in the first episode, it's Kelly MacDonald from
Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. He said he liked it, but you have to have seen all of the movies leading up to it to really appreciate it.
True.
The Takedown, he liked it. It's in French. It's the buddy drama comedy that takes on an investigation and fascism. Shepherd is Horror Island. You liked it.
It was okay. It was okay. It was okay. It was diverting. Yeah.
And you liked your TV offerings that you suggested.
Very much. Strange New Worlds and 10%. If you haven't seen Call My Agent, if you're afraid of French and subtitles, this is your way to get that kind of story.
All right. He comes and goes on a rainbow. Read him in the Marina Times. Bye, Michael.
See you, Michael. Guys.
All right.